What's going on, everybody? I'm Terrence, and this is Bank Shipping. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope everybody's having a good morning so far. If you ain't up, go ahead and get up and start that grind. I am down here in Springfield, Virginia, picking up 2 vehicles for the State Department. Supposed to be quick, easy load. Load them up, strap them down, run them up to Newcastle, Delaware, unload them, and be done with it. But I got down here and I don't have the VINs for the vehicles on the Raycon or the driver instructions or whatever. I don't have any of that information. Didn't even think about getting that information because I don't really haul vehicles that often, and I've never really had to check VINs. Most of the time when I do haul vehicles, it is for the military, and they know exactly what's supposed to be going where. It's not multiple of the same thing going the same place, so they never check VINs. You know, like I've never had Hummers or anything, ATVs, anything. I've never had any of those things VIN checked. But here, they need the VINs. So I'm waiting. I've called like 3 or 4 times, talked to 3 or 4 different people at the broker, and nobody has the VINs. So it's a waiting game. I believe they're going to be one of those or 2 of those. It's 2 vehicles total. So I believe it's going to be 2 of those Land Cruisers is what I'm thinking. So hopefully they get back to me pretty soon so I can get the VINs, get them to the guys so I can get loaded and get out of here. But until then, I'm just going to wait. So I'll see y'all in a little bit. And we are loaded. A little bit of State Department armor. Just a Suburban with some armor on it. Weighs about 10.5. They didn't want chains on this thing, so I had to get some lasso straps. So lasso straps it is for you car haulers. Tell me if I did it right. I know a lot of the car hauler guys, they like pulling straight down. I like pulling in opposing directions. It's just me, my personal preference. So we got those on there. I had to pull down here to get less of an angle on my ramps, because see, I only have equipment ramps, so they're only 8 feet long. So when you have something like this that has a low balance, you know, look how low that is. Equipment ramps can be kind of steep. So I pulled down here because it was downhill, so it was able to lessen the angle of my ramps. I think if I start hauling some more vehicles, I might go out and get some either 10 or 12 foot aluminum ramps. But we'll see. I just never hauled enough vehicles to justify the cost of buying those. So if I keep up hauling these vehicles, I might have to do that so that I don't have to keep on trying to find a place that's lower to decrease the angle of my ramps, because there might be a place that doesn't have that. You know, I usually lift my front axle because that lowers the ass end of the trailer some, but a lot of times it's still not enough. So you know, it'd be nice to have like a dump valve on that axle, but you still don't really want to, as low as this trailer sets, you know, you put a dump valve on it and dump all the air out, it'll pretty much be setting on that tire, and you really don't want that. So there's other ways around it. We'll figure it out. But I was supposed to get 2, but the broker called me with the VIN, and he was like, hey, they messed up on their inventory, they only need 1, so you're only picking up 1. Oh, that's better for me. Same money, less weight, less tie downs. So let's head to Delaware. I'll see y'all there. All right, man, we back at the yard. It's getting dark. It's about 5 o'clock. Got up to Delaware. Traffic was a nightmare. Accidents all over the place. You know, holiday traffic is starting. I think it was like, I think I ran into like 5 or so accidents, and not just like little fender benders, like accidents that shut down 3 out of the 4 lanes of traffic. But I finally got to Delaware. Got there about, I don't know, a little after 11:30, and I walked in there, gave him my paperwork, and he told me I needed a dock receipt. Now I'm like, this ain't no port, why I need a dock receipt? But it's a staging area for the Port of Wilmington, so that's where they stage some of the vehicles. So I did need a dock receipt. So I called the broker, and he's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll send you the dock receipt. And I'm like, if you got a dock receipt from the beginning, I didn't know this place worked with the port, you know, so I didn't know I was supposed to have a dock receipt. But if they emailed you a dock receipt, ain't that something that you should send me? You didn't bother to send me the dock receipt, just like you didn't bother to send me the VIN number this morning. Like, come on, man. So because I didn't have the dock receipt, I couldn't get unloaded until I got the dock receipt, right? So I get the dock receipt at like 11:47, and I know it was 11:47 because when I walked up to the door, the lady was walking out, locking the door, saying we go to lunch at 11:45 and we don't come back until 1 o'clock. So I had to sit there until 1 o'clock until I could get unloaded. So that's why I'm so late getting back. Traffic was crazy coming back too. Not as many accidents, it was just rush hour. But I got a load and go load in the morning out of Kingspan, goes to King of Prussia. So I'll do that in the morning. See y'all there. All right, it's Friday. I got loaded this morning in Kingspan, did a load and go up to King of Prussia, and then did a quick turn, hauled some sailboat fuel on the way back, and now we back at the yard. End of the day, end of the week. Gotta stretch my legs, let the old girl cool off, but we're done for the week. I got a load going to Manassas on Monday, but I couldn't pick it up today. It's got a load and go on Monday, so end of the day. All in all, good week. 1 week closer to the holidays. You know, so next week is a short week. So, you know, most places, a lot of places that I know of, at least for me, close on like the 22nd, 23rd-ish. So not sure how much I'll be running next week, but if I can run, I'm going to run. But I wanted to talk about, man, this whole incident in Colorado, you know, with the, I think it's Aguilar, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce his name, but the guy, the driver that lost his brakes going down the mountain, bypassed the runaway ramps, and hit traffic at the bottom, killing 4 people, injuring 6. First off, because it's getting a lot of traction, first off, you know, my condolences to everybody who lost somebody in that accident. Never want to see that happen, okay? You know, I feel sorry for all those people who lost loved ones or people who were injured and things like that. You know, you just never want to see accidents, never want to hear about people getting killed in accidents. You know, so I wanted to say that first off. Second off, you know, this guy gets charged with like 20 counts, and his charges run consecutive, not concurrent. So that means they don't run side by side, they run one after the next, ending up in 110 consecutive years in prison. Now this is just my honest opinion, okay? Y'all can get mad if you want. This is my opinion. 110 years? Are you shitting me? 110 years. Now I'm gonna tell y'all why I have that reaction. The reason I have that reaction is because, okay, yes, this man was negligent. Didn't do his due diligence in maintaining control of his vehicle. Yeah, he's guilty of that. Yes, the result was the death of 4 people and injuring 6. Yes, he's guilty of all that. Ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about that. He's guilty of all that, okay? But you got people out here who commit acts of murder. I'm talking first-degree murder. They went to kill somebody, planned to kill somebody, that don't get as much time as that. You got people out here saying, oh, well, a drunk driver don't get that much time. Yeah, that's true. A drunk driver does not get that much time. But you know what? This is a completely different scenario than a drunk driver. You can't even compare the two, because a drunk driver knew what they was doing when they drank and got in that vehicle. This guy was an accident. Now, everybody's gonna say, well, he was not in the right gear. He didn't use his Jake brake. He went past, I don't know how many runaway truck ramps. He had every opportunity to make it right, but he didn't, and he still crashed. That's why he's getting all that time. I don't know if any of y'all have ever been in a scenario or a situation where it puts you into a panic. Your mind ain't all the way there. You ain't thinking right. You panicking. So yeah, he probably was panicked. Couldn't get the truck in gear. Didn't think about the Jake brake, even if the truck had a Jake brake. And didn't think about the runaway ramps. You know what also causes that? Inexperience. Because see, if he was experienced, that panic probably wouldn't have overwhelmed him. Now, it might not have been panic. It could have been something else. Who knows? Only he knows that. We don't. But my biggest thing is, how come he's the only one that's being held accountable for this accident? What about the company who let this inexperienced driver out on the road by himself? Who turned him over? What about them? What about the company that allowed him to go with bad brakes? Because the things that I read said that he reported the brakes being bad. Now, 2 things wrong with that. He should have never went nowhere if he knew the brakes were bad. If I was a company driver and the brakes are bad, truck's parked till you get it fixed. Point blank, period. I'm not moving until something's fixed if it's bad. Okay, so that's his fault. But it's also the company's fault for not fixing it and allowing him to leave. See, we got to start holding people accountable, everybody accountable. He's not the only one accountable. And the fact that he gets 110 consecutive years when people are out here doing God knows what that's worse, intentionally. You got drunk drivers out here. You got murderers out here that do 5-10 years. You got rapists out here doing no time. But this man's got to do 110 years for an accident. Like I said, there's a bunch of stuff he could have did different. That's why they call them accidents. Was it preventable? Yes. But at the end of the day, it's still an accident. He did not intentionally run into those people. And you're going to hit him with 110 years. Now, I saw a couple things about, oh, you know, you guys should be ashamed of yourself if you're sticking up for this guy. I'm not saying he's innocent. He's guilty of something. He's guilty of a lot of things, but not 110 years worth. People talking about, you know, oh, these truckers who are, you know, not going to Colorado because of the thing. You know, you guys are disgusting. That's their own prerogative. I seen somebody say, you know, oh, you're only hurting the people of Colorado and spitting in the face of the families. No, they're not. They got their own beliefs. And if they believe that strongly in it, they're going to do it. Yeah, it may hurt some people in Colorado if people ain't running, trucks ain't running to Colorado, but I guarantee you, there's still going to be plenty of trucks running to Colorado because them mega fleets ain't stopping. They ain't going to stop whatsoever. And that brings up another point about, you know, people are talking about, oh, well, this is going to be an eye-opener. Be an eye-opener to these truckers, for them to know that they're going to be held accountable. They made an example out of this guy. You don't need to make an example out of this guy, because every trucker that's got any sense knows that we are held accountable. We are held more accountable than anybody else out on the freaking road. Oh, you don't think that's true? How come I can get a ticket for a marker light being out, but somebody can drive down the road with half their door off and nobody bats an eye? Why are the truckers always the ones to be held more accountable? Because you call us professional drivers? Yeah, we're professional drivers, and we do the best that we can out here. But what people fail to realize is the majority of accidents, almost 90% of accidents with tractor trailers and four-wheelers, are caused by the four-wheeler. So who do you really think's the problem out on the road? But no, we're the ones that's faced with more and more and more and more regulations, because it's our fault, right? Everything's always our fault. Higher insurance costs, ELDs, all that stuff to regulate the truckers, when if you look at the statistic, the truckers ain't even the problem. You know, it's almost, to me, it seems like there's a war on truckers. Everybody is against truckers when they don't realize that we the ones who carry this country. I mean, look at the lady down in Texas. I feel sorry for her, but she went around a pilot car vehicle, hit an oversized load, and her family gets $480 million. You got that, and now this guy getting 110 years for killing 4 people in an accident. And then this ain't the first time that's happened. It happens a lot. It happens a whole lot. When I was a fireman, I ran plenty of accidents involving tractor trailers and cars where multiple people died, and never heard of somebody getting charged or given 110 years. And most of the time, when it's a person in a four-wheeler, do you ever hear about the person in the car that caused the accident getting charged? They might get a reckless driving ticket, or they'll plead it down, won't get no time. It's absolutely ridiculous. And like I said, I'll make that statement again, because I feel strongly about it. Sometimes it feels like it's a war against truckers. Everything is always against truckers. And where I'm going with that is to all the people who see this business as just dollar signs. Leave it alone. Because if you're getting in this business for just the money, you in it for the wrong reason. Make the dollar, don't let the dollar make you. It's a lot more to this business than just making money. There's a lot more to driving one of these than just making money. If you don't understand the responsibility that you hold when you get in one of these, whether it's a semi or a Hotshot, if you don't understand that responsibility that you have to maintain and control that vehicle, stay at home. Don't let the hype get you in there. Don't let the hype get you into a situation that you ain't going to get yourself out of. I'm not saying that this guy that killed those people accidentally in Colorado was just chasing dollar signs, but he was inexperienced. He was inexperienced, and everybody just seems to push all these inexperienced drivers out on the road so that they can make the almighty dollar. It's all about the money. Don't be like that, because you'll end up like him. Point blank, period. There are people out here that pay zero attention on the road, cars and trucks included. It can cost you your life, or it can cost somebody else's life. It's not a game. You guys got to know, myself included, I consider myself in this. We got to know what we are doing and what the next person is doing at all times to avoid accidents. accidents like that, especially now that it seems like no matter what we do, we are going to be in the wrong. We're going to get hit with a nuclear judgment where it just hundreds of millions of dollars in lawsuits, or we're going to get convicted of 100 and some years in prison. So if you still think you want to jump in this business just for the money after seeing all these things that can happen over the last course of a couple months, I'm telling you, man, y'all in it for the wrong reasons. It's a lifestyle. It ain't just a job, it ain't just a career, it's a lifestyle. And if you don't know that, then stay out of trucking. I hate to be that blunt, but y'all know how I am. That's how I am. I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all, man. It is too much crazy stuff going on out here for people to jump in just because they think it's money. You're gonna get yourself killed or somebody else killed or get yourself in some serious trouble. It's a lifestyle. You gotta know what you're doing out here, man. And like I said, I feel sorry. My condolences go out for the people who lost lives, the families who lost a loved one, the ones that got hurt. My condolences. I feel sorry for those people, but come on, man, 110 years is absolutely ridiculous. Y'all let me know down in the comments what y'all think about the situation. You know, debate me, whatever. And everybody have a good weekend, fun weekend, safe weekend. Stress the safe again. Please stay safe. If y'all out on the road, stay safe. You know, spend time with your families if you can, friends, all that good stuff. And as always, stay prayed up, grind hard, and stay humble.